The Urbandale Jayhawks warming up for the lower bracket 4A semifinals. Sioux City West, a team that was well regarded throughout the season. They wind up 4th in the ratings as they get ready to play a team in the Urbandale Jayhawks that surprised a lot of people. Really were not ranked. They're the 6th seed in this tournament, and it should be a very interesting matchup between these two ball clubs. West, of course, was here last year, had a real heartbreaker in the quarterfinals. Had a 19-point lead at one time against Davenport West. Lost the game on a last-second shot by Mickey Sisk. That was Davenport North's only lead in the ball game.
Okay, well, that's tough, but they're back. They made it back this year. It'll be interesting to see if they handle this second game much like Mason City did. I don't think their coach was very pleased with the way they played in their opening game, but they were fortunate to win. If they come out today and play like they're capable of playing, then we may see a heck of a game out here today, and it could be a very, very big game for West. But on the other hand, you have Urbandale, who plays in a great conference, who day in and day out, night in, night out, plays against excellent teams. They're kind of hot right now. You know, they're in a flow. They're comfortable with how they're playing and how they're playing with each other. So, again, it'll be interesting to see the style, what happens. West will want to run and really keep the shots flying at a rapid rate. And I think Urbandale will be a little more patient, although they have great guard play and are able to run up and down the floor, too.
Well, let's take a look at some of the individuals that we expect to play big today. Certainly for Sioux City West, a guy who's really played big throughout his career, and it's winding down now, is Kyle Galloway.
Unbelievable. 90% free throw shooter. He's a triple-triple guy. 24 points, 10.6 on the rebounds, and a 33 on the ACT. If we could all get those kind of triples when we're recruiting kids, that'd be the best right there.
Galloway has not been well in this tournament. He got 23 against Bettendorf, and he wasn't feeling well. He's had a virus or something for about a week, been on antibiotics, so the doctors are keeping an eye on him. They've pumped him full of fluids and antibiotics, and they hope that he's feeling much better than he was in the last ball game on Wednesday. So Galloway for Sioux City West, whose dad, Stan, was the first All-Stater in West history, and he carries on the family tradition. Sioux City West certainly will look to Kyle Galloway. As far as the Urbandale Jayhawks are concerned, and they have now left the floor, going back with Coach Brad Bjorkman to get some last-minute instructions. They really rely on a couple of people, but a guy that really steps forward big for them is Andy Myers.
Well, he's going to be a key today because not only is he the hot player right now, I think he had 30 points 2 games ago to get him here. He's their leading rebounder. He's a great power player inside. Now, what's going to happen? Is he going to guard Galloway, and is he going to have a problem with fouls? Is Galloway going to be able to guard him and keep him from getting in foul trouble? That's going to be a great matchup. Regardless whether they play zone or man-to-man, they're going to be around each other. And I think who wins that matchup, who can stay in the game and produce for their team, is going to be a successful team.
Galloway 2 inches taller than Myers. Myers is 20 pounds heavier than Galloway. So it should be a good ball game as Sioux City West and Urbandale about to square off. We'll be back with the starting lineups after this word from your local station.
The 1997 Iowa Boys State High School Basketball Tournament is brought to you in part by the Iowa Gambling Treatment Program, 1-800-BETS-OFF. Fairway Stores Incorporated, Iowa's most economical food store. And by the Iowa Bankers Association and your local Iowa bank. Make the smart choice, an Iowa bank.
Today's tournament is brought to you in part by your Northland Ford dealers.
With Tim Seaman and former Cyclone assistant coach Jim Hallahan, now the executive director of the Iowa Games, this is Larry Morgan at Veterans Auditorium, where Urbandale and Sioux City West will meet for the right to take on undefeated Mason City tomorrow night in the 4A championship game. We take a look at how these teams got to this point in the season, and first of all for Sioux City West, take a look at their road to state, and it went through one of their arch rivals in Sioux City, Heelan.
Yeah, that was a low-scoring game, and I think that's what you have to look at for Urbandale. 52-36. I don't know if they can hold them to 52 today, but if they do, they'll have a chance to win, I think.
And then they beat Bettendorf here on Wednesday on a layup by Kurt Heinrich with just 6 seconds to play. to pull it out by 2. As far as the Urbandale Jayhawks are concerned, they had to go through a couple of very outstanding teams to get to state, and again, they were not rated, and a lot of people thought, well, maybe Urbandale wouldn't get here, but their road to state has taken them to the semifinals.
Yeah, you look at the teams that they beat: Southeast Polk, Indianola, who had a great year, Ankeny, who everyone thought would be here. I'll tell you what, they're 3-0. That's what counts. They're undefeated. Forget the school record, forget the record for the year. They're playing great basketball right now.
And their win over Iowa City West, that 7-point margin, the widest margin of any of the 4A quarterfinal games. So Sioux City West and Urbandale about to square off. The starting lineup's about to be introduced. Bob Wilson standing by at the PA to tell us who's going to play in this ball game. Bob?
Welcome to the final semifinal game of this 1997 state basketball tournament. In Class 4A play, listed on the scoreboard as the visiting team will be the Wolverines from Sioux City West. They got to this point by virtue of their 60-58 victory over Bettendorf on Wednesday. Listed as the home team, the Jayhawks from Urbandale. They got here by defeating Iowa City West 52-45 on Wednesday. Let's meet the non-starters and assistant coaches for both ball clubs, and first for the Wolverines. Number 50 is Justin Combs. Number 10, Laverne Hayes. Number 24, Tanner Shaw. Number 40, John Beck. Number 34, Keith Comstock. Number 4, Jesse Maldonado. Number 20, Brandon Weiss. 00 is Mike Lambert. Number 42 is Jeremy Mayo. And number 45 is Nick Stevenson. The assistant coach for the Wolverines, Stan Galloway. Now for the Jayhawks, number 33 is Tom Malloy. Number 52 is Eric McMaster. Number 20, Josh Witt. Number 13 is Reed Westman. Number 11 is Brian Perlberg. Number 44, Grant Small. Number 10, Kevin Johnson. Number 32 is Spencer Black. Number 40 is Corey Holthouse. And number 42 is John Bays. The assistant coaches for the Jayhawks, Don Grunwald, Tony Mead, senior number 34, Andy Myers. For the Wolverines, number 30 is a 6'5" senior, Nathan Carter. For the Jayhawks, number 30, a 6'2" senior, Luke Rose. Number 20 is a 6'2" junior, Casey Rooney. Number 24 is a 5'9" senior, Shane McKinney. Number 12 is a 6'2" sophomore, Kirk Heinrich. Number 23 is a 6'2" senior, Jason Kozman. And number 3 is a 6'3" junior, Nate Deal. And number 22 is a 6'2" senior, Jacob Kozman. The head coach for the Sioux City West Wolverines is Jim Heinrich. And for the Urbandale Jayhawks, Brad Bjorkgren. Our officials for the ball game, the referee is Charles Britton of Waverly. The umpire, Randy Bruns from Waverly. And the auxiliary bench official is Robert Oldest of Iowa City. Let her rip.
It's the 2nd seed, Sioux City West, and the 6th seed, Urbandale, about to do battle. We look at the way they match up statistically. And you'll see that Sioux City West, the more up-tempo team, scoring nearly 80 points a game.
Yeah, they've had some big scoring games, and that's the way they're most comfortable playing. Put them in a slowdown game, they have a little more time finding their tempo, harder time.
Myers at 6'4", jumps against Nate Deal, who is 6'3", but he is a real leaper.
He's the real deal. You're going to enjoy watching him. This kid is a heck of an athlete and does some unbelievable things out there athletically.
And Deal comes out with it quickly on the baseline to Casey Rooney. Nice drive by Rooney. And keeping it alive is Urbandale's Luke Rose. Deal with the deflection, Myers with a recovery.
Oh, nice pass by Myers.
I know how he got it over to Shane McKinney, but he did, and Urbandale's got the lead.
He recognized he had 2 defenders on him. He knew there was an open man on the other side of the basket and dumped it in.
The West Wolverines with a 20-1 record. Their only loss to Sioux Falls O'Gorman, 66-59 in their second to last regular season game. Jacob Kozman on the foul for Urbandale.
Right now they've got Kozman guarding Galloway. Quite a height disadvantage, but I'm sure they feel he's their best defensive player. And because Galloway's such a good outside shooter too, they probably won't be able to cover him on the perimeter.
And it's put down by number 3, hits a 3, Nate Deal.
He hasn't taken a lot of those this year either. That's a kind of a surprise to see him rise up and shoot that.
That's only his 12th of the year. Inside, nice move by Andy Myers, and Urbandale back into the lead at 4-3.
Good power move inside. He's being guarded by Nathan Carter, 6'5" center for West. That'll be an interesting matchup too.
Deal paired off with Luke Rose. Number 12 is Kirk Heinrich, the coach's son, only a sophomore, but he made the winning bucket in the quarterfinal win over Bettendorf. Deal trying to get around Rose, and Urbandale comes up with it in the person of McKinney. McKinney has it stripped, and it will be Urbandale ball.
McKinney, the littlest guy out there for Urbandale, but their leading scorer, I think the guy that really held them together until this team gelled. It'll be interesting to see today what he has to do for his team to win.
McKinney averages 17.5 points a game. He's quite a shooter. Here's Luke Rose coming in, offensive foul.
That was definitely a charge. He just really forced the play inside, and the defender was standing still. And oh, you don't want to see that.
And Galloway, Kyle Galloway, the leading scorer for the Wolverines, comes up limping. However, does not want to leave the ball game.
He's the one that drew the charge, I believe, and must have stepped on his foot as he was going down and twisted an ankle.
But
hopefully he'll be able to run it off here.
Yeah, he seems to be moving better. Lob on the baseline to Deal. The fall away banks off the glass. The rebound is put back by Nathan Carter.
Very soft hands Carter has. If he could have a big game for him here, gets the ball enough, he's really good and smooth inside.
20, out of bounds. 2-0.
With the foul for Sioux City West, Casey Rooney.
Kyle Galloway still limping around a little bit. They're taking him out. I don't know if that's the best thing to do or not. I guess maybe they can wrap him, wrap it again, or put a tape job on it. You don't want him to be out too long, though.
Number 10, Laverne Hayes, has come on to take the place of Kyle Galloway.
Right there.
And the foul is called on Carter on the inbounds toss by Urbandale.
No hands, push it around. 3-0. Right there.
You hear Charles Britton, the referee, making the call to the official scorer.
Nobody else.
Off the baseline, McKinney leaves it short. Rebounded by Deal.
He can really jump.
He can. It's amazing.
And a good passer, too. He made some terrific passes the other day in their game. I think the thing about him, you don't know what he's going to do.
Inside, it's Carter. Starts to move on Myers. Myers grabs him, and Myers with a foul. And the officials have made it very apparent in the first 2.5 minutes of this ball game. They are going to keep it under control.
I think so. They're not only blowing the whistle that way, they're talking that way out there as we can hear them talk.
Kyle Galloway comes back into the lineup. Galloway has the ball, has the shot, has the basket. Kyle Galloway averages 24. That's his first 2 in this one.
He's got that move where he gets it in the post and fades away, and it's just really an unstoppable shot. The only one's going to stop him is himself. Oh,
Myers puts
move.
it down for the Jayhawks.
Great power move with his left hand inside. Remind me of Clay Edwards' shot the other night.
The 3 by Deal. Myers has the rebound position, and Jacob Kozman takes it down. Jacob Kozman and his brother Jason Kozman transferred in October to Urbandale. Their dads and ministers, they came from Millington, Michigan, and they have really made Urbandale effective. The layup, fast break, Casey Rooney for 2.
Deal, another. He's involved in those open court plays, boy. When you get in the open court, he's hard to guard.
And it's the Wolverines by 3.
Time.
The officials take a timeout because the net gets caught up. Good look at that last Wolverine bucket.
Drew the defender, Myers to him, Deal did, and then jumped it off to Rooney for a nice, easy basket.
He dealt it, didn't he?
Galloway's still a little light on that, looks like his left ankle.
And so we have a timeout midway through the first period. 9-6, Sioux City West. There's a timeout on the floor. Now here's a word from your local station. Mason City has won. Urbandale and Sioux City West trying to play them in the championship tomorrow night, and it's a 9-6 lead for Sioux City West as Urbandale has the ball as play resumes.
Sioux City West, again, looks much sharper than they did the other game the other night, both defensively and offensively. Galloway's got 2 baskets with just 2 touches. They're playing their game, the kind of game they want to play right now.
Both teams shooting well, as you saw in that graphic a moment ago. Carter misses, but then fouls as Meyer got the rebound. Carter trying to get it back. Nathan Carter with his 2nd foul. He's a key performer for Sioux City West, averages 9 points and 6 boards a game, and they don't want him to sit out very long, but he's got 2 early fouls.
Move the fade.
Myers working on Carter. They get it right to the guy who's guarding the man with 2 fouls, not wanting him to get his 3rd. He had to lay off.
Nice follow-up by Carter.
Nathan Carter with his 2nd bucket.
Ran the floor well.
West with a 5-point lead. This is Jason Cosman of the Cosman Twins. It's Jason, number 23, who's the offensive threat. Jacob, more the defensive player. But there's the leading scorer for Urbandale, McKinney, with the ball, and he is fouled by Nate Deal.
It looks like West is having a little more success guarding Urbandale. They're not getting back cut and back picked as much as they were the other day, and they're able to guard him, keep between them and the basket.
Jacob Cosman inbounding to Shane McKinney. McKinney guarded by Casey Rooney. Looking inside to Meyer.
Nice pass, great power move inside. He draws a crowd when he gets it in there, but he's able to come through and put it in the basket for him.
He has 6 of Urbandale's 8. Rooney, now it's the sophomore point guard Heinrich on the shot. McKinney comes out with it. Jason Cosman on the layup.
He knows what Heinrich did. He missed a shot, and his first instinct was to reach towards the guy who got the rebound rather than get back on defense, and that converted into a basket for Urbandale. When you're a guard and you take that shot, you got to get back on defense and anchor the defense.
2:45 left in the first. Sioux City West 11 and Urbandale 10.
Oh, nice pass by Galloway.
He found Carter.
Great pass by Deal to Carter.
And for Nathan Carter, that is a 6-point first period. A 3-point lead for the Wolverines as the Jayhawks bring it up.
One thing that happens with Kozman all over Galloway like that, he's not playing help side. His whole thing is to guard Galloway, but all of a sudden, if he should be in help side, penetration happens, he can't help. You got to give up something when you face guard somebody like that.
Air ball by Kozman. Heinrich with the rebound. Nice feed to Deal. Carter tries to finish. Deal tries to save, can't do it. It's Urbandale ball.
Oh, timeout. He got the timeout. That rule drives me crazy. He's halfway to the ground, reaching for the ball. It's timeout.
A lot of people think that rule won't be around next year. They think they're going to change that. But right now, he got the timeout. We've got a timeout. We'll be back at Bettman's Auditorium in just a moment. Sioux City has the ball because Nate Deal makes a heavy play.
Wait for the horn. Wait for the horn.
Calls timeout.
Let's see, his foot was down. That's a bad rule. You got to get that out of there.
Well, as they say, a lot of people think it won't be around next year, Jim.
Straight up.
Rooney, nothing but court for 3.
This game is going the way West wants it to go. They're very comfortable with the flow. They're hitting the offensive glass when there is a miss. They're playing extremely well right now. Looks like a different defensive team than was out there the other day, Larry.
Oh, it really does. The penetration by Kozman. Now off the baseline, the shot put through by Tom Malloy off the bench. And it's a 4-point lead for Sioux City West as they come up the floor with a minute 25 left in the first quarter.
That time they fronted Meyer with Carter and had Galloway behind him to keep him from getting that ball inside.
When Galloway gets the ball, you see he's attracting a lot of Jayhawk defenders. Heinrich tries to move on the baseline, and he is fouled.
Ball's on White. 2-2. Shoot 2.
It's so difficult for kids, particularly guards, to catch that ball underneath the basket and not dribble it. They want to get a sense of where they are because they're not used to being there that much. Much better to catch it and shoot it without the dribble.
Tom Malloy with the foul, sending Kirk Heinrich to the line. He's a 67% free throw shooter. Again, he hit the game-winning shot against Bettendorf in the quarterfinals.
This is a nice-looking sophomore point guard. I think he has a great future ahead of him.
His dad, the coach, Jim Heinrich, and he says what Kirk really understands is what Jim wants. There's a great understanding about what he wants on the floor.
Hopefully he's been listening to him since he was about 1 day old.
6-point lead for Sioux City West with a minute to go in the first. McKinney for 3.
Oh, maybe 4.
Maybe 4. The foul on Justin Combs.
0.
McKinney buries the 3, and he is fouled.
Got him with his body.
1 shot.
Boy, that's tough. 4-point plays. You don't want too many of those.
You don't see many of those.
No. Last guy I remember getting a bunch of those was LaFesta Rhodes when he scored 54 points in a big win over Iowa several years ago. You probably forgot that game, Larry.
No, in fact, I will never forget that ball game. And I'm sure you won't either, Jim.
I watched it the other night.
Weren't you the one who said we need to feature LaFesta in this ball game?
That's right.
That's what I thought.
Well, there's a LaFesta Rhodes shot right there. It didn't go in, though.
Combs can't put down the follow. Galloway
bodies
kicks and
all
misses.
over the place. Holy cow.
McKinney leads a 3-on-2 Jayhawk break.
You must even describe their great no-look pass, then a block, then a possible charge. There goes the officials. He moving his hand like that. He said, hey, slow down, guys, so we can see this game a little better.
Jason Cosman on the inbounds. Tom Malloy gets bottled up. Now McKinney works against Rooney. Lob too tall.
Yes.
Taken down by Hayes.
Oh, break for Urbandale.
Urbandale can tie with the 2, take the lead with the 3 as they will play for the last shot of the quarter.
Maybe. 34. Oh, gee
Andy Meyer is on the foul.
You don't want to get a foul in the last second of a quarter on a missed shot.
Team foul number 5 on Urbandale. 5 fouls also called against Sioux City West here in the first quarter. The desperation try by Heinrich in the first quarter comes to an end. At the end of the first quarter, it's Sioux City West 18 and Urbandale 16. We'll be back at Bettman's Auditorium in just a moment. Don Grunwald on the bench for Urbandale. Really quite a story. He's an assistant coach. He led 6 teams of his own to state, had retired from coaching, but came back to assist Coach Brad Bjorkgren and has really made a difference.
Well, I know Brad appreciates that. When you're coaching, you want people around you that know the game, and no one knows any better than that coach does.
At age 65, this is his last season. He's going to pack it in for good after this tournament. Brad Bjorkgren admits that it was a while he was intimidated at the thought of having a Hall of Fame coach as an assistant coach, but he said couldn't have worked out any better than it has.
The older you get, the more you want people to surround yourself with good people.
Urbandale has a 6-point run underway, but Nate Deal with an opportunity to break it up for Urbandale. Now the Jayhawks, well, who's got it? Boy, there have been a lot of those situations in this ball game early.
It's like an onside kick. Everybody's diving on it.
Right in there, right out here.
The possession arrow keeps it in the Sioux City West end.
Make sure we get the drive.
West only 2 points from Kyle Galloway, but he was hurt, missed a couple of minutes in that first period. They lead by 2. Urbandale has a 6-point run underway.
And yet Carter stepped it up a little bit. I think he has 6 points already and only had 4 the other day. And he's a threat inside. Boy, if you got a guy like Callaway and you got somebody inside that can make him too, that you can give Callaway a little break.
Heinrich looking in against McKinney. The lob intended for Deal, but intercepted by Cosman. The other end, McKinney on the finish.
Nice move. Under control, didn't charge, took it off 2 feet. Nice move by McKinney.
And so the ball game is tied up for the first time.
Right here.
The hold spotted on Urbandale. Reed Westman picks up the foul.
They are physical on Galloway. I don't know if that's in plan before the game, but that's what has developed. They've really wrapped him up a couple times, gotten some fouls, but got different guys guarding him. Maybe they think waste 10 fouls on him and don't let him get going.
Straight up and down.
They see Kyle Galloway right there, and Urbandale trying to put a lot of bodies on him.
That's the last time I'm telling you.
They
Galloway,
have been very physical.
24-point-a-game scorer. A 57% field goal shooter, a 90% free throw shooter. So he's really an offensive machine. So Urbandale will put 2 men on him most of the time. Tie game, early moments, second period.
Urbandale's very active in their defense. Just not giving many easy shots.
Rooney over Malloy. Galloway had the rebound momentarily taken away from him by Spencer Black.
Urbandale has Meyer out now. We'll see how they get along without their big guy in there.
Malloy knocks it down. Urbandale to the lead. For Urbandale, their first lead since they led 2-0.
Of course, McMaster's no little guy, 6'5", 212 in there banging around. I think they'll probably hold Meyer out as long as they can with 2 fouls.
Eric McMaster wearing number 52. The pull-up, and it's nailed by Heinrich.
That's what he has to do, and he can do that. He needs to be a little more aggressive offensively. That's a 4th lead change here. This is looking like it's going to be a great game, Larry.
And Heinrich is better than a 50% three-point shooter.
That's amazing as a sophomore to do that.
McKinney trying to get around Galloway. Runs into Deal. Deal fouls it. Second foul on Nate Deal. Shane McKinney, the 5'9" senior who leads the Jayhawks in scoring, will go to the line. He's a 73% foul shot shooter with 2 fouls. Nate Deal is on the bench, replaced by Laverne Hayes.
I think Deal blocked the shot, but then there was a lot of body that got involved with that too, and in high school you just can't do that.
9 points for McKinney.
You know, here's a guy that shot 131 free throws this year, Larry, this little guy, and I think that's a big key. See, he got in there and got taken to that basket. That's a lot of free throws.
It really is. He gives Urbandale the 1-point lead at 22-21 as the game seesaws back and forth.
In fact, he shot 1/3 of their free throws for the year, so you know he's aggressive.
Carter open. Rooney follows.
Nice job by Rooney. Got the offensive rebound, never brought it down below his shoulders, put it right back up. No chance of a block shot that time.
West back in front. Jason Cosman, offensive foul.
Good defense, good defensive position by Heinrich. He's really a nice boy. To have a kid like that back for a couple years is encouraging. Look at his good defensive position. Feet are planted, squared up, through the charge.
Into the lineup for the Jayhawks, number 30, Luke Rose, the starter, returns.
To give you an idea on Sioux City West, the other day they were 1 for 7 against Bettendorf from the three-point line. They've already made 3 today. So they're a little more on line the way they want to shoot the ball.
Galloway finds Heinrich. The deflection by Rose. The recovery by Rooney.
Carter dribbled it inside off that offensive rebound, got it knocked away.
McKinney comes up with it. He'll put it up.
Nice outlet by Carter. Got that ball and outlet at the same time.
Heinrich tries the spin pass, and it's intercepted by Jacob Kosman. Boy, there have been a lot of bodies on the floor in this
like
ball
tennis.
game.
This is like tennis, looking one way, now it's going the other.
And Laverne Hayes with the layup. Sioux City West to the lead of 3 at 25-22. It's gotten a little hectic. The pace is getting a little out of control, and Urbandale will use a timeout. 4:21 left in the first half. There's a timeout on the floor. Now here's a word from your local station. The Trojans, rather the Wolverines, I should say, on a 5-point run for Sioux City West, and this is their last 2 on the fast break.
Boy, not as many bodies as before. Nice breakaway here. Turnovers are going to be a factor the way this game's being played. And right now, I think West is doing a little bit better on scoring off of turnovers, and Urbandale has 7 turnovers to West's 5.
Jacob Kosman, momentarily in trouble, finds his brother Jason. Andy Myers working against Carter. McKinney. Good execution there by the Jayhawks. McKinney with a dozen.
Boy, he's playing, isn't he?
He really is.
And Kosman hasn't been able to get much scoring in, but if McKinney's playing that way, he can just play defense and move the ball.
3 double-figure scores in the starting lineup for Urbandale, so they have pretty good balance.
White 2, 3, 1 and 1 coming up.
With the foul, Jason Kosman, and that will be his second foul. You look at the bench of the Sioux City Wolverines. Jim Heinrich in his 18th year, 182 victories. He played on some state tournament teams at Sioux City Central back in 64 and 65.
That's an unusual miss for Galloway, although he's like a quarterback right now. When he gets fouled, he's getting sacked on those fouls. He's taking a physical beating out there every time they foul him. I don't know if it's going to affect his shooting or what.
Galloway's a 90% free throw shooter. He's not due to miss again until next season.
That's right.
Could be playing college ball then. Urbandale tries to regain the lead. 3 minutes and 22 seconds left in the second quarter. Kosman on the miss. Hayes on the rebound.
Nice rebound by Hayes. Good position. Went up strong.
The 3 by Heinrich. He's at 2 threes in this period. And Sioux City West to a lead of 4.
Nice looking stroke on the young sophomore. West looks awfully good. Good help in there on Myers. Galloway came all the way from the other side of the basket to deflect the pass.
Now that's one of the differences in this ballgame. Myers was getting touches early. It's become increasingly difficult for him to get a touch.
Yeah, and he has 2 fouls, so it's going to be a little tough for him to be as aggressive.
McKinney fires. Rebound by Rose momentarily, but taken away from him by Hayes.
Hayes has come in and done a nice job when Deal got his second foul. He's got a couple of rebounds, got a breakaway basket. You get subs contributing like that, you're pretty happy as a coach.
West's biggest lead has been 6. They can duplicate that if this shot goes down by Galloway. Carter with another offensive rebound.
Good job by Carter.
Second shots and third shots have really favored the Wolverines.
And bodies on the floor. I don't know who's that favoring.
No,
but
it's
there's
pretty
a lot
equal.
of them. Pretty equal.
2:10 left in the second period.
Tell you what, you got Myers in there. Yes, that's right. Get it to him. You've got 2 fouls. You want him to handle the ball.
And Heinrich with the foul, trying to prevent Myers from going to the basket. So Andy Myers, the 6'5" senior, will go to the line.
You know, last year they had Nath in there with him. And boy, that's 2 pretty good inside players. Andy Nath's doing a great job at Drake. Started about 20 or 21 games. very good inside with both hands. I bet they wish you had him back right now.
I bet they do.
Guys in there.
That left Andy Myers the only returning starter. So Brad Bjorkgren's ball club really having to rebuild. It certainly helped when Jacob and Jason Cosman moved in from Michigan.
Two great kids have done a wonderful job for his team, and I know Brad's been really probably enjoyed this year more than any other year he's coached.
Myers gets them both down. Andy Myers with 8 points. McKinney leading Urbandale in scoring with a dozen. It's Sioux City West with a 2-point lead. Into the lineup for the Jayhawks, number 52, Eric McMaster, a big wide body, 6'5", 212 pounds.
I tell you what, Galloway's having a hard time just establishing a position somewhere. There's white shirts all around him.
But Jacob Cosman is really a great defensive stopper for the Jayhawks, and he's done a good job on Galloway so far. Getting help, though. Heinrich with the shot.
I believe that was, oh, he called it good, too. Wow.
He gets it. That gives him 8 points in the quarter, 10 points in the ball game, and he has a chance to complete a 3-point play.
I thought it was going to be a charge on him, but they actually called the foul on another player, not the guy who tried to draw the charge, and counted the basket, too. Maybe a little continuation NBA style, Larry?
Maybe. So Heinrich gives Sioux City West a 5-point lead with 1:42 and counting in the second quarter.
You know, Urbandale's fine with this type of game, but they just got to have Myers in there more. They can't afford just to be totally outside.
Jacob Cosman for three. It's Jason that they look to for most of the offense, but that time his twin brother Jacob gets it down.
That's a bonus basket when a guy averages 5 points a game hits a three-pointer in a big game like this.
Galloway finds Carter.
Oh, he was lucky. That should be a foul.
30.
Yep.
It will be, and that is the third foul on Nathan Carter. So Carter has been such a factor, especially on the offensive glass. Now in foul trouble, drawing his third.
You always seem to get a foul on a big guy when he misses an inside shot. His instinct is to go back after it again. The problem is there's somebody between him and the ball, and he gets a foul going over the back.
And let me correct what I said, checking the scoreboard, just the second foul on Nathan Carter. I thought he had another, but that is just the second foul. So Carter will go to the bench.
Well, that's good. They want him in the second half to be aggressive. He's really been aggressive today, Larry. In the game yesterday, he really didn't show the aggressiveness that he has today.
McMaster on the miss, Hayes on the rebound. Sioux City West, the ball and a 2-point lead as we near the 1-minute mark in the second period.
Urbandale in his zone, but playing Galloway man-to-man and really trying to bump him as he goes through the lane.
And they've done a good job on him, but that time the foul called against Westman.
White. 1-3.
Westman's second foul. Kyle Galloway will go to the line.
It's kind of like a boxing match. You know, in boxing, you try to hit the guy's arms enough that pretty soon he drops his guard. They're bumping him so much that he missed a free throw. Let's see if he can come back and get on line with these free throwers. The pounding taking effect on him.
Again, he's one of the state's best free throw shooters at 90%. Gets this one down as you look at the Urbandale bench. Coach Brad Bjorkgren. Galloway, the all-time leading scorer in Sioux City West history, better than 900 points in his brilliant career.
He only got 1 or 2.
The shot won't go for Justin Combs. But another offensive rebound for Urbandale, and the foul called on McMaster. Sioux City West getting those offensive rebounds. That's been a huge factor.
52.
Basically, that's where they built their margin.
Boy, they've been tough on the offensive boards because they're aggressive today. They're moving, they're doing a good job on their offense, but they're also not just standing around watching somebody shoot. They crash the boards when the shot goes up.
And Casey Rooney will go to the free throw line.
Okay.
Rooney's got 7 points. He averages 10 a game. And the second-year starter, it's his 8th point.
Right now, West is out rebounding Urbandale 19-10, and 11 of those 19 rebounds are offensive rebounds.
Boy, that's been huge in this ball game. The Wolverine lead is 5.
I think Brad will probably talk to his team about blocking out a little bit better, but see, they're playing a zone and a one-man chaser, so again, there's no responsibility on who you block out. If you convince your team to crash the boards, you can get in there and get offensive rebounds.
McKinney, the leading scorer for Urbandale on the season and in the ball game with the ball in his hands. Number 20 is Josh Witt helping him out, and the offensive foul called on McKinney.
Tough call. They were holding for one, wanted to make this maybe a three-point game. Had no intention to shoot it. Defensive player really gets. Yeah, they don't want to shoot this one too quick now. The worst you can be is 5 points up.
Heinrich, the sophomore guard who plays like an upperclassman.
5 seconds. 4. Urbandale's going to have a chance to get a shot off here. Nope, not going to get it off in time.
At the buzzer, the shot by Westman won't go. And that's the end of the first half with the score. Sioux City West 34, Urbandale 29. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
Welcome back to Vets Auditorium. Sioux City West leading it at the half, 34-29 over Urbandale. I'm Tim Seaman with another fan in the stands. Brought to you by Fairway, Iowa's most economical food store. And joining me this time, the West High Athletic Director, Ron Heaton. And Ron, everybody may not know it. I know you're battling a bad heart. How are you handling this?
Very good. I tell you what, I was in the hospital yesterday, had double angioplasty and 3 stents put in on Tuesday. The doctor came in yesterday morning and said, I tell you what, looking at you on Wednesday night, listening to the game on the radio, you're best off just going to Des Moines and watching those kids. So we came.
Well, put your seatbelt on and behave yourself. Here's a T-shirt because you're the fan in the stands. Ron Heaton from Sioux City West.
Thanks.
We'll look for a good second half.
All right.
Back to the guys in the booth.
Wow, he's a testimony to cardiologists everywhere that he would come back after that kind of a procedure. That's just amazing. And his team, Sioux City West, on top by 5 at intermission. We'll be back in a moment after this pause for station identification. West leads Urbandale 34-29 at the half. We take a look at first half highlights, starting with McKinney for Urbandale.
Yeah, they made a good defensive play. Stopped the lob pass. McKinney got down the floor quickly and got an easy layup.
Hottest scorer for the Wolverines, the sophomore guard, Kirk Heinrich.
Boy, he's come of age today. He's a sophomore playing like a senior. Here's another one of, I think, 3 3-pointers he had in the first half.
Now, this play typifies what we saw in the first half. Scrambles.
Look out. Scrambled eggs, and here we go. Mashed potatoes.
Laverne Hayes comes up with a loose basketball and will go all the way untouched.
Nice job by Hayes coming off the bench for Deal.
Usually it's Jason Kozman with the offense rather than his twin brother Jacob, but Jacob nails that 3 for the Jayhawks.
And I recognize him without looking at his number. If you believe that, you'll believe anything.
I don't, because it took his coach, Brad Bjorkgren, a month and a half to tell the Twins apart. At the half, it's Urbandale and Sioux City West locked up in a good one with the Wolverines on top at 34-29. Sioux City West comes back on the floor first under coach Jim Heinrich. They have fashioned a 20-1 season, 13-1 in the Sioux Interstate Conference. Their only loss to Sioux Falls O'Gorman, 66-59, second to last game of the regular season. Urbandale started slow, losing 4 of their first 6. They had to work the new guys in. But when the Cosmans got involved in the program and they understood what was going on, suddenly this team spurted, won 11 of their last 12. Their only loss in that stretch to Mason City.
Ball handling is so important, and those 2 guards came in and give them great ball handling, along with the scoring of the kids that they already had. It's just made them a much better team.
You look at the stats, you see Urbandale shot so well, so why aren't they in the lead? Look at that rebound total.
Well, rebounding, and West got more shots. They actually had 1 more basket, even though they shot 37%, but they had 12 baskets. Urbandale's 11 for 20, just didn't get as many shots.
And the reason is because of that 19 total rebounds, almost double figures of them were offensive rebounds.
Exactly, and that's something I'm sure Brad talked about in the locker room. But what do you do when you're playing a zone and you're chasing Galloway? The shot goes up. You just got to get all your guys to get into the lane and try to rebound the ball. You can't be leaking out on a fast break, even if you're a point guard.
If you're Urbandale, you've got to worry about defending the guards because Heinrich and Rooney, 20 points combined in the first half of this ball game, combined for only 11 against Bettendorf in the quarterfinals.
Rooney has really stepped it up today, and I think that's been a real bonus for West because here, if you look at Galloway, he's not getting what he normally gets, and yet they're still leading the ball game. That means look out if he gets it going.
And so, Sioux City West trying to move on to the championship game, as is Urbandale. Mason City's already there by virtue of a 66-44 win over Cedar Rapids Kennedy. Remember, we'll be back on the air tonight with a couple of championship games. It'll be Linville Sully and Newell Fonda in 1A, followed by Bondurant Farrar and St. Ansgar in 2A. And then tomorrow night, the 3A and 4A championships will be decided here at Veterans Auditorium. You look at Kyle Galloway, the most prolific scorer in West history, and they'd really like to get him going in the second half to help out those guards.
Tell you what, it's encouraging for them, though. He has 3 points, and they're leading this ball game by 5 at halftime. I cannot believe he's going to be held to 3 points the second half.
Boy, he's been a machine. You're right about that.
Oh, my goodness. He's a great shooter. So, I don't know. Maybe the pounding, maybe the flu, maybe the twisted ankle. We'll have to see how he plays in the first 2 minutes. Sometimes halftime, he lets you cool down, and if you have an injury, it's a little tougher to come back out. But he's a tough kid. I expect him to come out. He's not trying to force it, but he does need to score a few more points for him in the second half here, probably.
At the start of the ball game, we talked about Andy Myers and his importance for Urbandale. Got off to a quick start, got 6 points early. Then West really put more defensive pressure on him, and he never scored a basket the rest of the half.
Well, the biggest thing they did was get 2 fouls on him and remove him from the game. He actually set out a lot of minutes, and I think that was really a factor. When he does get that ball inside, he is an excellent, what we call power player, and that means you protect the ball from your defensive player and you put your body on the defensive player when you're shooting the ball. And he has that knack of doing that.
The assistant coach in the middle with his back to you, Michael Morgan, former Iowa Hawkeye.
Sure is. I remember Michael when he played at Iowa. An outstanding athlete. Just a very, very, very good athlete.
And so Brad Bjorkman's put together quite a coaching staff with Morgan, and we mentioned Don Grunwald earlier. And you see Grunwald there in the center of your picture as well. The Jayhawks and the Wolverines, 16 minutes more of regulation to go, trying to get into the 4A championship game. Again, neither school has won a state basketball title, so both are hungry to move on and get a chance to do that tomorrow night.
And to face Mason City to get over that hurdle, too. That's not going to be any easy deal.
Wolverines back onto the floor with number 3 Deal, number 12 Heinrich, number 20 Rooney, number 30 Carter, and number 32 Galloway. So they have their starters in, and Urbandale will counter with the same group that started the ball game for them. That's 22 Jacob Kozman, 23 Jason Kozman, 24 Shane McKinney, their leading scorer on the game and on the season. Number 30 is Luke Rose, and number 34 Andy Myers.
Got a lot more things to worry about than that.
Jacob Kozman against Nate Deal to get the second half underway.
West opens up an aggressive man-to-man, a lot of pressure on the ball. We'll see how Urbandale handles this.
McKinney holds up a fist, calls a set play. They clear the left side of the floor for it. Jason Kozman on the miss. The follow is there by Luke Rose, and he is fouled. So Luke Rose gets the first 2 points of the second half for Urbandale to tighten up the ball game.
30.
Strong offensive move here off this shot. Great, nice right-handed power hook shot. Galloway tries to draw the charge, but they're a little bit late underneath the basket. Those are kind of calls sometimes like see no call on. It's underneath the basket. Shot's already taken place.
One shot.
It's bad enough just to get hit. You have to have a foul, too, on that.
It's the first foul called against Galloway. Luke Rose, who did not score in the first half, scores the first 2 points here in the second half. Unable to complete the three-point play, but an offensive rebound by the Jayhawks. Jason Kozman. Here's McKinney. Meyer almost got a tip. Carter with the save. That guy can jump. Here's Deal wheeling in. Myers with a rebound. And a travel, and the ball goes back to Sioux City West.
You know, you're going to travel when your feet aren't underneath you. I think there was a little someone in a green outfit there that made those feet go, but the call got missed, and that's going to happen. As a player, you got to adjust to the calls. You got to keep a good attitude and not carry it on to the next play and do something silly. But Kozman got right through that double screen. That was an out-of-bounds play to get Callaway a shot.
Nate Deal with a bucket.
He started the game off with a bucket, too. Right out of the blocks, he's ready to go. I'm sure Brad Bjorken talked to them about rebounding. Right away, they pounded about 4 offensive rebounds off that last opportunity down there. They just didn't score.
A minute's gone in the third. West with a lead of 5.
A lot of interior screening now by Urbandale.
Rose has it poked away. Good save by Heinrich. But Kozman comes back up and puts it in.
Somebody's hurt on the floor.
Jacob Kozman hits it. And down for Urbandale is Luke Rose, the 6'2 senior. Looks like he got hit in the face.
Either got hit in the face or his face hit the floor when he went down.
Got somebody to get their blood.
Yeah, I think he got a bloody nose out of it.
And so Luke Rose goes down. Let's watch.
Well, these kids want to win, and they're giving it every ounce of energy they have out here. It's a tremendous game.
Yeah, let's get
Casey Rooney, really a gifted athlete, goes to the line. As you take a look there at Tanner Shaw, who's just come in for Sioux City West. He's a 6-foot senior, wears number 24. Rooney, the starting quarterback, also a good soccer player. In fact, is saying that soccer might be his best sport.
He's having a heck of a game today. Kozman had to go out. I think he had blood on his elbow. We're going to have to call blood transfusions here.
Tom Malloy, number 33, has come in to replace him for Urbandale. Rooney looks for double figures. Heinrich with 11, Rooney with 10. The guard court is doing the lion's share of the offensive work for Sioux City West.
And yet Urbandale's hanging right in there, just down 5 points. Playing very well.
Just under 6 minutes left in the third period.
Oh, nice back screen.
Reed Westman handles the ball for Urbandale. The pull-up by Malloy. The rebound by Myers.
What a great offensive rebound by Myers, just to get it between two people, then to get under control, not dribble it, keep it up high, and put it back in. Great basket by Myers.
It's a 3-point lead for Sioux City West as they work it inside to Hayes. Hayes is tied up. The possession arrow will keep it in the Sioux City West end.
Meyer blocked that shot without jumping. He has long arms.
Right here.
Brad Bjorkman about to make a change in his lineup. As back in Jacob Cosman, he replaces Reed Westman. Hayes to trigger.
You just watch that Jacob Cosman, boy. He is all over Galloway. Really doing a good job on defense.
West trying to pad a 3-point lead.
Galloway's going to have to get some good screens set on Cosman, or he's going to have a hard time shaking loose there, especially when they're holding on to each other's arms.
Right now, Galloway looking for some position underneath as Hayes fires and misses, and Myers rebounds. Jayhawks with the ball, down by 3. Putting it to the floor, McKinney.
Oh, what a shot by a little guy. Let the two defenders passing by, hung in the air, and was able to convert it. That's a great basket.
It's a 1-point ball game with 4:28 left in the third period. Tanner Shaw knows that's not his shot.
You don't have Heinrich in there right now as a 3-point shooter. With Galloway being shaded so much, he's having a hard time getting any shots off. Somebody's going to have to rise up and make a basket here for him.
Heinrich to the scorer's table, though. He won't be out long.
Rooney or Deal here is going to have to make a basket for him.
Hayes working the point right now with Heinrich, and is ready to come in. And with the foul for Urbandale, Jacob Cosman. Or make it Tom Malloy. Malloy with his second foul.
Watch this. Watch the defensive work on Galloway here by Cosman. Boy, he is just not using his hands. He's using his body, jumps to the ball, beats him to the next position he anticipates him going to, and here he comes. He's all over him again. Great defensive work here by Cosman.
Kirk Heinrich comes back in for Sioux City West. In the middle, it's Combs. Oh, my. Deal takes it hard to the rack. McKinney spins, fires. Heinrich blocks it.
Now West has a chance to run it down. Another good pass by Deal. I didn't think that ball could get through there, but it did. And a foul.
And Rooney is fouled. So Rooney will go to the line with 3:25 to go in the third quarter. Brad Bjorkman, the 9th-year head coach of Urbandale. And a timeout about to be called with 3:25 left to go in this third period. It's Sioux City West by 1. There's a timeout on the floor. Now here's a word from your local station. With Jim Hallahan and Tim Seaman, Larry Morgan back at Veterans Auditorium. A tight ball game. The winner to move on to the 4A finals against Mason City tomorrow night.
West is having a difficult time scoring baskets. They're still shooting poorly, Larry.
Jim Heinrich on the bench. You saw a moment ago. Next to him, Kyle Galloway's dad, Stan, who's the assistant coach to Jim Heinrich. So both Heinrich and Galloway have players on the court for Sioux City West. Galloway bottled up, triple teamed, and fouled.
Not much place to go there when he got it. In fact, it was hard to get rid of it. They had so many guys around him. Looked like a spider caught in a spider web.
Yeah, it really did. Westman on the foul, and that'll be his third. 14 fouls against Urbandale and 2 against Sioux City West here in the second half. Heinrich.
Very nice spin move by Heinrich.
He's got 13. West leads by 3.
Urbandale has picked up their defensive intensity and it's given West some problems. Heinrich will be a key guy to be the end result of some reversal pass to be able to make that shot.
Westman, guarded by Heinrich. Myers beats Deal. Good help by Combs. Myers gets it back and puts it in.
Boy, Myers a 2-footed player. Uh-oh.
Off the baseline, Rooney on the miss, but he will go to the line.
Right, 3-4. Right here.
If I'm not mistaken, that referee called that foul on Myers' forehead.
He did. Myers with his third foul. Ooh.
Relax,
Good effort, a second effort here by Myers at the offensive end a moment ago.
Very good inside player.
Rooney gets the free throw down. He is now 5 of 5 from the line in this game.
Rooney's kind of been West's scorer this game.
He now has 13 points. He and Heinrich tied for the scoring lead. 26 points from the 2 starting guards for Sioux City West. Urbandale really playing from behind most of the afternoon, but hanging right there with the Wolverines.
And they're shooting the ball. Urbandale's been shooting the ball pretty well. They just haven't been getting as many shots as West.
On the foul, Justin Combs. His second foul.
Go talk to each other.
You have to give Urbandale's defense credit. West is 2 of 7 this quarter so far. And, you know, normally they're a very good shooting team. And they're having a very difficult time getting good open shots.
Urbandale now with 5 team fouls, and Sioux City a good free throw shooting team at 71%. So Urbandale wanting to avoid the penalty as long as possible. Right now on the Sioux City bench, Jim Heinrich, the 18th year head coach, ponders things.
Right up.
Knocked away by Heinrich, and a tie ball on the scramble to pick it up, and it belongs to the Jayhawks.
There have been more bodies on this floor than I think I've seen in all the other games combined.
I think you're right.
No shot! No shot, 20! Right there. Got the hand.
Foul called against Casey Rooney. It's his second foul.
He's really tough taking that basketball to the goal. And even though he's a little guy, he goes off of 2 feet, so he gets his balance again and has a chance to make the basket after getting fouled.
Reed Westman to inbound. This is Luke Rose.
Now they got Galloway on Myers inside. That'll be interesting to see if that matchup stays there. First half, Carter guarded him.
Shot by Kozman will go. And it's picked up by Combs. Heinrich, offensive foul.
Good defensive position that time. Luke Rose just held his position, didn't go for the shoulder fake, and was able to draw the charge.
You recall it was Rose who earlier went out with a bloody nose. He gets thumped to the floor there. He's having a tough ball game.
Hurts my body all the way up here.
This is not a game for the faint-hearted.
That's Brad.
Brad Bjorkgren on the Urbandale bench. McKinney has it stripped from him, but it's picked back up by Rose. Offensive foul on Rose.
He sure did. You can't just put your shoulder into a guy and barrel into him, even if you have the original position. That was an offensive charge.
Well, that's what Luke Rose wanted to do. He got called doing it. Tom Malloy back in for Urbandale, and Rose will leave. Heinrich leaves it short. Deal with the rebound. Westman tried to take it away from behind, but a good recovery by Galloway. And then Galloway is fouled by Kozman. Jacob Kozman with his second foul.
Neal had a very good offensive rebound there, but in traffic, you never want to put the ball on the floor behind your back. You don't know who's back there, and probably it's going to be somebody else, and he lost the ball there. Good rebound.
Now Urbandale is in the penalty, which means for the final 1:15 of the third quarter and all the fourth quarter, a 71% free throw shooting team is going to get free throw opportunities.
Well, that's a big factor because they're having a hard time making baskets when they're not being guarded. Now they're on the free throw line. At least they're not getting guarded now.
In fact, Sioux City has made just 2 baskets in this quarter. And yet, with that basket, with that free throw, they now have a bigger lead than they had at the half. They led at the half by 3. Or, excuse me, they led at the half by 5. If he hits this free throw, they'll equal that halftime lead, even though they've got just 2 baskets in the period. With the rebound, McKinney.
West's theory should just keep getting fouled so they can go to the free throw line.
Well, it's got them through a quarter with their offense not what they hoped it would be, but still with the lead.
Out of bounds.
His sneakers stepped on the out-of-bounds line, and Charles Britton was right there with a good position to make the call.
A little too much dribbling on that play. Need to move the ball a little more.
Burke Heinrich, the talented sophomore, brings it ahead for Sioux City West.
Urbandale creeps back into it, and then turnover.
Absolutely. In fact, turnovers in their last 2 possessions. Heinrich open. That's dangerous. That's why.
Another three-pointer. That's exactly what they got to have. One of the few open looks they got.
West with their biggest lead. Final half minute, period number 3. Myers in deep. Myers, as he has so many times, gets his own rebound.
A little contact in there. Official's going to have to get under control here now. Couple elbows, a little pushing.
Jacob Kozman working with the shot, winding down. Urbandale doesn't seem to know how much time is left. Now they do. Desperation shot. It was caught out of bounds by Myers after the miss by Witt. Didn't look like Urbandale was quite aware of the clock.
I think that thing just got going so much they just lost their conscious of how much time was on the clock.
Less than a second now left, so time for a catch and a pitch. Heinrich will try it. He gets backboard, but doesn't get it down. That's the end of the third quarter. It's Sioux City West 46, Urbandale 39. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
And welcome back to Vets Auditorium. Sioux City West leading 46-39. I'm Tim Seaman. Courtside with another fan in the stands. Brought to you by Fairway, Iowa's most economical food store. And I feel like a zookeeper, guys. Now I got a bird with me. Pop your head off. The guy that's leading the Jayhawks,
Alex Kimbrough.
what's it going to take to get the win?
I think they're going to have to show a lot of the intensity they had the first game.
There's a T-shirt for being our fan. Get the head on. Get them going here. Bird, in the meantime, let's go back upstairs, guys.
It's been a good year for Jayhawks, Jim Hallahan.
Yeah, there's another one of those left in the tournament somewhere, too, I think.
Final quarter begins with Sioux City West holding the ball in a 7-point lead.
Both teams didn't shoot very well that quarter, but really it was just because of good defense. It wasn't because they're missing open shots. Both teams are playing great defense right now.
If you would have told Jim Heinrich that his team would have a 7-point lead going to the fourth quarter and Kyle Galloway having only 1 field goal, he'd have never believed you.
No, I don't think anybody would. I didn't see that anybody make that prediction, did you?
No.
Well, that's a testimony of their team, though. If they can win with him not having a great game, that gives them a lot of confidence going into the next championship game.
Well, you said that right. Putting it to the floor is Rooney.
There's the guy. There's the guy that's picked up the slack. 15 points. Done an outstanding job.
5 better than his average. With a foul, Justin Combs. That's the 16th foul called on the Wolverines.
I'll tell you what, I don't know who in practice has to guard Andy Meyer every day, but that's not going to be a fun job. It's got to be McMaster. That's the only guy over the bench big enough to guard him in practice.
Myers not only good in basketball, an outstanding football receiver, hasn't decided which sport he's going to pursue in college. As he puts that one down, I think he could probably do either one pretty well.
Not only did he put that one down, he just put Galloway down as they got their arms interlocked. It looked like a do-si-do on a square dance.
Deal off the baseline. And with a foul is Combs, as Luke Rose secured the rebound.
5-0 Green.
For Justin Combs, it's his 4th foul. Combs off the bench has committed 4 fouls.
30's the shooter.
Tough shot by Deal on that one. He's behind the backboard, had to shoot it up over the goal, and that's why I didn't hit anything.
And you went flying. 1-1. So if you get tangled
To
up,
the free throw line, Luke Rose.
make sure everybody starts square.
In the 3rd period, Urbandale had 5 baskets. Sioux City West had only 3, but they went 5 of 6 from the free throw line, so they outscored Urbandale 12-10 in that 3rd period. There you see Hayes in replacing Combs.
Hayes did a good job the first time he came in for West. Let's see if he can make a contribution on the boards, or a good defensive player, maybe an easy basket on a break.
Luke Rose, who was only a hockey player, didn't really play basketball until about 8th grade. He's really developed, though, as a basketball player. He has 4 points, all in this half, and it's a 5-point lead for Sioux City West.
Still anybody's ball game. I think somebody's going to have to get hot here. And
22.
Knocking it away was Kozman, but he also made contact, and Jacob Kozman.
Well, he has been so good on that defense. He was in pretty good position. He got caught, but he was in pretty good position on that defensive play.
He now has his 4th foul. You look at the head coach for the Urbandale Jayhawks, Brad Bjorkman. His 9th year came to Urbandale 14 years ago, and he's the man on the extreme right of your screen. Galloway with all of his points but 2.
The one thing we know, if the game goes down to a free throw match, he's already missed his 1, but he's not going to miss anymore if he's shooting 90%.
Actually, he's missed 3, which is just hard to imagine. Whew. Galloway now with 6. Sioux City West with a lead of 7.
Good defensive pressure caused that turnover. The offensive player tried to catch it before he had it in his hands. You got to see the ball into your hands. You can't look to make the next play until you get it in your hands.
Don't hold him.
Rooney and Deal along the perimeter. Heinrich out of there right now. Galloway open for one of the rare times in this ball game. And the all-time leading scorer in West history nails a big jump shot.
You know, that time West spread the floor out more, drew the defensive players out away from the lane a little bit more.
Sioux City West with their biggest lead will be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment. With 6:02 left in the 4th period, Sioux City West leading Urbandale 52-43. They've just opened their biggest lead. Brad Bjorkman taking a timeout, trying to get Urbandale back into this one. What do the Jayhawks have to do?
Yeah, you're thinking that what he's telling them is, hey, let's be a little more patient, get that ball inside to Myers, and if you get double teamed, drop it out to one of our good guards for the shot. You know, defense, just don't let up. Don't let up your intensity and rebound the ball.
McKinney puts it to the floor, puts it to the glass, gets the roll.
Tough shot.
16 for Shane McKinney, 12 at the half, just 4 in the second half. So that would be another way that Urbandale gets back at it, to get him hot.
Well, he's plenty capable of doing that. He's let him in scoring many times this year. But you can see now West is getting their players a little farther out on the floor, which then stretches the defense out and creates those openings just like that.
Deal goes around the screen by Hayes.
9-point game here now. Urbandale's will maybe have to get some full court pressure going here if they get some scores.
Myers in deep, double team, then it goes off the hands of Hayes, and so it will be Urbandale ball with 5:17 remaining.
Right here.
Brad Bjorkman calling out the signals for this out-of-bounds play here. A lot of times you're better off scoring on an out-of-bounds plays because it's a set play. It's a little easier to get somebody open.
If they try to get the ball back in McKinney's hands after he inbounds. Nope, they'll take it to the other side.
32.
And the foul is whistled against Spencer Black. It'll be his first foul. Both teams in the bonus for the final 5-12. Into the free throw line, Andy Myers. He had a great sub-state game against Ankeny, a 24-point, 15-rebound effort against a team that Urbandale lost twice to in the regular season, with them beaten 79-68 to get here to the state tournament.
Well, they just got better and better and better, Urbandale did. I think the two guards moving in took a while to adjust to that, and now they're playing as well as they played all year.
Myers with a 15-point ball game.
It's amazing that West is ahead. Galloway has 8 points. They're 8 points up, and actually Urbandale's playing pretty well.
Credit Heinrich and Rooney, the guards for West, with the offense. Rebound by Galloway. Exactly 5 to play.
Carter didn't see that ball coming in from Deal.
And the travel as McKinney tries to shovel it to Rose.
I think it's important that Urbandale keeps their composure now. You don't want to get frustrated and play so hard that it takes you into fouling all the time. You want to play smart here. Good pressure on the trap.
Heinrich on the push. Excuse me. No, that's right. Heinrich on the push, and that'll be his third foul.
And a turnover.
You take a look at the turnovers. Urbandale has been victimized 15 mistakes, Sioux City West 8. That right now probably the difference in the ball game.
No question about it. With the defense that Urbandale has given to Sioux City West, it's a credit to their players. They have not turned the ball over any more than that. This could be a big turnaround here. West was on the way down, break down the floor, and instead of getting a basket at the other end, Heinrich gets a foul on him, and Urbandale gets a chance and converts 1 of 2 free throws.
Jason Kozman, 1 out of 2 at the foul line, and it's a 54-47 Sioux City West advantage.
Yeah, you ran a little UCLA play where they're trying to post up Callaway after popping him out on the screen.
Now Heinrich will work it to the other side of the floor. Carter, who had been in foul trouble, comes back in. Came back in about 30 seconds ago. That's Carter handling the ball there. He got Sioux City West off to a quick start. West trying to burn some clock. Carter on the turnaround.
Nice
rebound.
shot. Rolled off, though. Big possession here for Urbandale. They can get a basket here. No, Deal makes a great defensive play. Woo!
He's awfully quick, Jim.
Very, very quick. Really was out of position a little bit and was still able to make the good defensive play.
Timeout. Sioux City West. They lead 54-47. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment. Sioux City West has had the lead since about the midway point in the second quarter. But Urbandale under Brad Bjorken keeps fighting back, and every time Sioux City West opens a little bit of daylight, Urbandale's been able to come back. But now Sioux City West with an opportunity to increase a 7-point lead.
Well, there's no question. Sioux City West players have risen up here. There's Heinrich inside. Nice delay play. With Galloway not scoring, they've been able to show that they can still win with their best players being under 10 points.
That is very impressive.
That is impressive against a good Urbandale team.
McKinney into the lane, taking it to the hole, and he is fouled.
Well, you have to be careful right now. You don't want to go one-on-one every time down. You got to get your other guys involved a little bit and try to get some easy baskets and not have turnovers.
Third foul against Rooney. This is a very gifted offensive player, Shane McKinney. You know, you talk about quick. McKinney's got some quicks.
Great quickness and great leaping ability for a little guy. Really rises up on those drives and gets his body under control.
McKinney with 17 points. He got 10 against Iowa City West the other day.
Full court pressure by Urbandale.
Great effort there by Kozman.
1-2-1-1 press. They got one man back, Meyer, for safety. They're going to trap the inbounds pass right here. They get it to the middle to Galloway and break the press. It's a good guy to have in the middle of a press is Galloway.
It's an 8-point lead for West with 3:15 to go. Sioux City West had not been to a state tournament in basketball until last year. They got beat in the quarterfinals on a heartbreaker by a point They're trying to take a step to the finals.
Big rebound by Meyer. Big rebound by Meyer. Looks like they were going to get an open layup. Rooney missed the shot.
Nate Deal with his third foul. Boy, the last couple of minutes have been a free throw shooting contest.
Both teams shoot free throws pretty well.
Yes, they do. Sioux City at 71%, Urbandale at 68%. And Andy Myers goes to the line.
He's been awfully strong in there today. Boy,
Yes, he has.
Presence.
He's got 15 points, a number of boards. And the senior hits a clutch free throw.
He can get this free throw down. They're only 6 down. That's 2 3-point possessions. A lot of things can happen in 2:54.
Rose fighting for an offensive rebound, taken away by Galloway.
Now it's a 3-possession game, and you got a good free throw shooter on the line. You foul 94 feet from the basket, so you don't really want to do that. It's a little too early to foul quickly.
Jason Kozman with the foul, and that will be his 5th. Kozman fouls out with 2:51 to go.
We did a great job on defense, I'll tell you that. He was great on Callaway, hit an early 3-pointer for his team. He did everything he could do for his team.
He leaves with a total of 3. His average 15. So a good defensive job against Kozman has helped Sioux City West as Galloway steps to the line, does not get the roll. We talked about him being sick and being hurting, and for him to miss free throws, that's got to be an indication that he's not 100% physically, because there are a few better free throw shooters in the state.
In a very physical game, which wears you down.
Heinrich gets run over, and he will pick himself up, slowly walk to the line. I have a feeling when Andy Myers runs into you, you know you've been run into.
Doesn't seem like he slows up when he makes contact, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Must come from his football days.
Andy Myers with 4 fouls. He's got 4. Jacob Kozman's got 4. Jason Kozman is fouled out. What a game by the sophomore Heinrich. 19 points. He's the guy who hit the game winner in the quarterfinals.
Don't think that doesn't help your confidence going into the next game, too, when you made that last shot to win the game.
Urbandale trails by 9. 2.5 left.
Good pass inside to Myers.
Against Galloway.
There's what they got to do right there. Get it into Myers. Let him either shoot it or throw it back out to an open guy.
Some of the other ways, Rooney, and he is fouled by Myers, and it's so. That'll be number 5.
Boy, that hurts.
Andy Myers has fouled out with 18 points. And you've talked about what a warrior he's been. Now the question is, can Urbandale make a run with that guy out of there?
Well, obviously they're going to have to do it in a different way than I thought they would by throwing it inside and getting baskets. They're going to have to make some outside shots, hope to make some 3-pointers, and maybe get an offensive rebound. They are bringing in McMaster, who is a big body, and he's just got to get in there and work hard on the boards and get him some offensive rebounds.
But he's not the offensive threat that Andy Myers is. So the senior fouls out into the free throw line. Casey Rooney. Again, the story of the offense for the Wolverines, the guards. Heinrich with 20, Rooney with 15.
Been outstanding. You look at the total guard play from Urbandale, and they just haven't come up with as many points as West have.
West has had the free throw opportunities. They've been able to convert them. That is 8 straight by the junior guard, Casey Rooney.
It's so tough when you're down 8 or 9 and you're fouling because the pressure's not really on them. There's a comfortable lead. If you can get it cut down to 2 or 3, then those free throws become a little harder to make. But right now, they're very, very comfortable in shooting the free throws, West is.
Brian Perlman, number 11's come on for Urbandale for one reason. He is a good 3-point shooter. Hasn't played a lot, but he's a streak shooter, and Brad Bjorkgren hopes that he happens to get hot now because that's what he's got the ability to do.
Well, his legs are fresh, too, so if he, well, they're going to be back on defense, so he's going to take him out. But at least if he comes in the game, his legs are fresh. If they can find him in the open spot, he can hit a couple threes, get him back in the game here.
Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there.
McKinney, a 73% free throw shooter. That's something that you can ill afford to have happen in a comeback effort. You need everyone now. We're down to 2:14.
I didn't have to. He was the one that broke the play when we had the ball. It doesn't matter. It's your violation, not ours.
You hear Randy Bruins. The officials are mic'd, and they're taking charge of this one, and they have.
I don't know about giving these officials mic. This might be a mistake.
Getting a little nervous, aren't you? Your
Yeah.
palms are beginning to sweat, I can tell.
One shot.
The lane violation on Deal, and that's why he was objecting.
That's a break for Urbandale, though. They get that free throw back. Getting to cut it to 7. Got their press going now. West does a nice job of handling the press, breaks the pressure, gets across midcourt.
Now West has been a real good free throw shooting team. They
nice
try to get
job.
it to Galloway. The interception by Rose. Huge play for the Jayhawks.
Rose had him fronted, has long arms. They tried to lob it. He just jumped up and intercepted the pass.
McKinney kicks for Rose. Good save by Rooney. Woo! Well, if you're Urbandale, there's really nobody on the floor you want to foul because they're all good free throw shooters for Sioux City West.
Particularly that guy right there.
That's the least of the guys you want to
That's
foul.
the least of the guys.
Rose with the foul. A 90% free throw shooter. Kyle Galloway goes to the line. He's been a little more human today, just 3 out of 7. West trying to become the first Sioux City school to make it to the championship since Sioux City North did it back in 1982.
Boy, nothing but net on that one.
Galloway now with 9, the all-time West scoring leader. His dad still has a single-season rebound record. His dad had a great career at the University of South Dakota. As we mentioned earlier, he's now an assistant on the Sioux City West bench. McKinney. 21 for McKinney.
They've just got to close that lead a little closer to put the heat on West. At 7-8 point lead, you're a little more relaxed.
As far as timeouts left, Urbandale using one there. They've got 1 left, and Sioux City West has 2 left. So there's the story with 1, 2, 3 showing on the clock. It's West with a 7-point lead in the ball.
Well, if they don't start missing free throws, I think Urbandale's in trouble, and West is making their free throws. When you start making them, you usually keep making them.
You look at the guys who play a lot. Well, let's listen in now to the Urbandale huddle of Brad Bjorkman.
Okay? Anticipate the next pass, where it's going to be. Now, listen, you go hard, don't foul down here, try to go after the ball, steal. If we get down in this area, then we need to foul. But don't foul Galloway. When he gives it up, then we need to go after the ball. Don't foul Galloway. Number 30 might be a good guy to foul, Tommy. Let's go, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, that's what's going on the Urbandale bench. Number 30, Carter, and he's not a bad free throw shooter just compared to everybody else.
Right, and he's probably not going to handle the ball as much as Galloway in this situation, too. So sometimes you want to foul a guy, and he doesn't get the ball.
No horns yet, right?
There's the timeout situation. Again, the possession arrow favoring Urbandale. Right now, the Jayhawks on defense. West with a 7-point lead, trying to reach it to the title game against Mason City. West has been terrific at the free throw line. Catch this, Jim. They are 18 of 22 from the stripe.
Who missed 3 of those?
Galloway, the guy that you'd never expect to miss any. You're right. Isn't that amazing? So Jim Heinrich's team, the 2nd-seeded team in the tournament, the 4th-rated team in the state, putting forth great effort and trying to put this game away on the free throw line. And this one, I believe, was ruled intentional, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
Oh.
They trapped him and thought they had deflected the ball and got a foul called on. It's a pretty good trap, really.
Well, I saw the signal there. To the free throw line, Kirk Heinrich, a 20-point effort.
Now he's about a 90% free throw shooter tonight.
Now Perlman comes in for his offense, for his 3-point ability.
120, still a lot of time here.
Galloway with an offensive rebound. Now here comes Urbandale. McKinney against Rooney. Rooney called for the foul. McKinney with the bucket.
That was a great basket by McKinney. That little guy is really tough.
Basket. 2-0 block.
He's got 23. Watch that.
Look at how soft the ball went up there after contact, too. That's just a heck of a play.
That's just amazing.
One.
Got a chance to cut it to 5 here.
McKinney has really turned it on for the Jayhawks down the stretch.
Here comes the press.
McKinney with a 10-point fourth period.
Oh, they got another one.
The steal by Rose. Now Urbandale looks to convert quickly as we're down to a minute and 8. Carter with the foul.
He's out of there.
Carter fouls out with a minute 7.
Be interesting to see who they bring in for Carter. Yep, they're bringing in a littler guy to handle the ball more.
It'll be Hayes. Let's get another glance.
Oh, good deflection there off the press. Good job of finding the open man. Carter almost makes a great play there, gets him on the arm.
Tom Malloy to the line for the first time as Carter goes out. Carter with a 6-point first quarter. He really got West off to a quick start. Then he got into foul problems. Malloy on the season, 71% from the strike.
In and out. Boy, those are tough. It's all right. Makes this when they're only 4 down.
And still 107 on the clock.
He needs to make this so they can get back on their press because their press has been very effective. Here it goes. Pressure on the ball. Got it in bounds. Boy, there's some people open down court.
And the foul call against Malloy before that Sioux City West can get it down the floor.
All right. 30.
Heinrich will go to the line.
I got you.
Exactly a minute to play. Jim Heinrich on the bench for Sioux City West.
Urbandale had 3 people trapping the ball and nobody back on defense, and the foul actually stopped an easy basket at the other end.
Find a spot. Let's go. Let's go.
Heinrich, 67% free throw shooter.
Stay right there.
He's got 21. Casey Rooney's got 17. And Kyle Galloway with 10. So 3 in double figures for West.
Hurry up. We're going.
A 4-point game with a minute to play.
I think if you're West here, you want to locate McKinney pretty quickly and maybe try to keep him from getting the ball because he's impossible to guard in the open court. If he gets the ball out of bounds and takes it down full speed, he's going to get a good shot off. Let's see if they try to locate. Nope, there's McKinney. He's got the ball again.
So a 2-possession game to tie for Urbandale right now. McKinney looking for 3.
Uh-oh.
Urbandale with a great comeback effort. Sioux City West with a great effort trying to hold them at arm's length.
That could have been the end of the game right there because they got the rebound and no one was back for Urbandale. And Rudy did not see Deal down the floor wide open. Now he's got to earn the points on the free throw line rather than an easy layup at the other end.
For Luke Rose, that was his 5th foul. So Rose will leave with 47 seconds left.
Played an outstanding game.
Yes, he did. Winds up with 4 points. Played very hard. As you see, bandage in the nose. Got a bloody nose in the middle of this very physical game. And Casey Rooney. You know, you talk about Heinrich and you talk about Rooney almost interchangeably because both have stepped up so huge today.
Had great games. 40 points between those 2 guys.
2.
But they're a good team. That's why they have a great record.
And that's why if they can hang on, it'll be a good championship game tomorrow against Mason City. But Urbandale not out of this one yet, especially if Rooney misses this one. This is a big free throw, though, Jim.
Got it. 7-point lead. That makes it tougher.
And makes it 3 possessions now. They can't do it in 2 anymore to tie it.
It's tough to catch up when West has scored their last 10 points from the free throw line.
20.
The basket is good by Witt.
Heck of a drive there.
3-2-0.
Foul called on Rooney, and I believe, let's see, that is his fifth. So Casey Rooney now fouls out.
Great concentration on that layup. Josh Witt just came into the game. Boy, that's a big shot.
Unbelievable, under pressure. Witt, a 6-foot junior. Combs comes into the lineup.
Still, West continues to make the free throws, and they just can't catch them unless they miss a free throw. 2 for 3, 2 for 3, 2 for 3. It takes quite a while to catch up on that.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh, Urbandale gets the offensive board.
That was Tom Malloy who came up with it. Kozman misses the putback there by Witt. And so now it's a 3-point game with 24.2 ticks left on the clock. And Urbandale will burn a timeout.
That was a timely air ball because it went right into the hands of Josh Witt and gave him an open layup. Cut the lead to 3.
This was a 9-point ball game with less than 2 minutes to play. It's 62-53. Urbandale has come clawing back into it.
Here's the attempt from Kozman outside, and Witt's right underneath the basket, able to convert it. One thing we didn't say, not only does West have to make free throws, but they can't turn the ball over. They got to get defensive rebounds.
Here's Jim Heinrich.
I'm sure Coach Heinrich is telling his guys, hey, have some composure here. Be strong with the ball. Don't be putting the ball on the floor until you look down court and try to find the open man. Let's move the ball by a pass and not by a dribble.
So 24 seconds remain. West has the ball. They've got a 3-point lead. And Kyle Galloway to inbound. Malloy will bother him on the out-of-bounds play.
Urbandale's got 5 guards in the game to make the press quicker.
Heinrich is fouled.
Close. That's close to an intentional foul. They just called it a personal foul.
A moment ago, Jason Kozman fouled out. Now Jacob Kozman has just picked up his 5th foul. So he will leave with 22 seconds to play. Boy, what a gritty performance by both teams today.
Great game, very intense. Just never a moment when you could do something easy. Everything's been hard.
Everybody's worked for everything, no question there. Heinrich with 23 points.
Now these free throws get a little tougher now. When you're up by 8 or 9, it's a little easier to make them. These guys just relax, focus on that basket, and block everything out. 2 misses.
Huge rebound by Josh Witt. Boy, he's played big in the late stages of the game. A 3-point ball game. Urbandale trails. They're looking for a 3 to tie. And the foul is called on Hayes.
That's a break. That's really a break because they don't get the 3-point shot off. They go to the free throw line. The worst it can be is 2 free throws, and still West has got a 1-point lead in the ball.
Well, I was thinking the same thing. Hayes was upset, but you're right. Not a bad trade at all.
Not a bad trade at all.
We're down to 9.4. A timeout is taken. Another look at the foul.
I don't know if they told him to do that or not, but that was a good move. I doubt if they did because I don't think they ever thought that Heinrich was going to miss 2 free throws and have just a 3-point lead.
Everybody get matched up and everybody fronts. If they line up this way, you switch on all picks. Switch on all picks and you got to talk out loud. All right? We're going to have the guy that's taking the ball out of bounds. His man is deep. You're playing center field. Whose man? Is that you? Yeah. How many fouls you have? 3. Okay? You trap the first pass if nobody's deep. Okay? Now, but we deny and try to get the 5-second call. We don't let them have it inbounds. Okay? Then, if they get it inbounds, foul early. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Urbandale has lost 4 players due to fouls, and yet gamely they hang in. Sioux City West has led since midway through the 2nd quarter. It's not been easy, but they continue to try to hold off Urbandale.
What they want to do here now, if he makes the free throws, is to front all the West players and force a 5-second call or a turnover by not being able to inbounds a pass.
Reed Westman, who's not seen a lot of playing time, hits the biggest free throw of his career.
Wow, that's big.
In the regular season, he had but 14 free throw tries.
42% free throw shooter, and he steps up and makes that. Makes it both.
Wow, unbelievable.
Got it into Galloway. Doesn't have to go across the midcourt line. 5 seconds, 4.
And there's the foul that had to be committed.
Well, I tell you what, that got down a little too close to the time that Urbandale needs to get back down the floor.
So Kirk Heinrich to the line. Now, you talked about how it's tougher to make free throws now than it was earlier. At one point, West had made 7 in a row, but now they've made just 2 of their last 6.
3.7 seconds is a lot of time.
Now, this one will determine if Urbandale needs a 2 to tie or a 3. But with 3.7 seconds left, there's not a lot of time to be particular about what kind of shot you take.
Urbandale has no timeouts left, so you know they're going to have to go the length of the court. They can't call timeout.
It'll take a 3 to tie with 3.7 seconds left. 0.6 of a second went off the clock. We're at 3.1.
Deflection on the inbounds pass, that certainly didn't help, but they still have 3 seconds if they can. They're a little closer to the other end now because they have it on the side.
Is Westman in for McMaster, the 3-point shooters that are left for Brad Bjorkman, who have not fouled out or in.
And he walks.
A travel by Witt. So Urbandale turns it over before getting a shot to try to tie.
And made the basket after the travel.
And Sioux City West has a timeout, and they say no reason to save it. They're going to talk about it. Because after all, you still got to get the ball in bounds.
You have to get the ball in bounds, and you don't want to run over somebody and create a foul and not start the clock. So he might just tell them, hey, spread out and let's throw the ball deep towards the other end and get it in bounds.
Okay, we got to get the ball in bounds. All right, let's get it in and squeeze it. Squeeze it. 2 seconds. All right, I don't want to throw the ball back that way. The ball has got to come this way. How about now coming up, breaking up? Yeah, you got I formation, you break straight up, and we got it. Okay? You take the ball out of bounds. You're going to break I formation. Just run it regular. But I don't want the pass that way. That's towards their basket. No, you're on the eye.
Yeah, Jim Heinrich has certainly well documented. Let's go to Brad Bjorkman.
Switching all back pit. Everybody's got a front.
Okay, here's what's got to happen now. The I formation has got to get the ball open by everybody changing, going different directions on the cut. One guy goes right, one guy goes left, one guy goes right, one guy goes left.
It's Sioux City West by 3 with 2 seconds remaining.
You got no more timeouts.
Both teams are out of timeouts.
Hold on. Anybody find any ice yet? All right.
You're hearing the voice of Charles Britton, the official.
Okay, right there. Right on, man.
Heinrich inbound. Urbandale nearly had an opportunity. Malloy trying to find a handle for a desperation shot, but time ran out, and Sioux City West has held off Urbandale 68 to 65.
Great game by both teams. It's just sad somebody has to lose a game like that because both teams played their hearts out, gave it everything they had. The fans, the coaches, everybody should be proud of those teams.
Yeah, it was a great effort by both squads. Absolutely. Heinrich with 25, Rooney with 18, and they lead West to a 3-point victory. That's the end of the game with the score. Sioux City West 68 and Urbandale 65. We'll be back after a word from your local station.